Hey, welcome back. Marianne DeNovellis here with the Six-Figure Mastermind. Your customers got expectations. We're going to teach you how to manage those expectations, how to be in charge of what's going on in your business from top to bottom, A to Z. So stay tuned and watch out for those key elements. So you're in business for yourself. You've got lots of clients, and guess what? They want to know what to expect when they're working with you. So how do you manage? How do you be in charge? And how do you anticipate really what your customers' expectations are going to be? Well, there's a few things you need to keep in mind as you're doing business with people, as you're managing those expectations, and as you're creating positive interactions with your customers. Keep the following in mind. Get clear on what the expectations actually are. What is it that you committed to bring to the table, and what is your client committed to do in return? Whether the client is just handing you money and you're just handing over a product, or maybe you're in a coaching relationship where you're showing up and you're giving your client value, but you expect your client to do the homework as well. Those expectations need to be really written out and spelled out right up front. In fact, before I enter into a contract with anyone, before I create a sale, before I close the business, I deliver on the expectations beforehand. Let me just give you a quick example. When I'm in a client call or a discovery call with someone, I tell them what to expect in the call. I let them know what they can expect by working with me. And here's what that sounds like. Hey, I'm so happy to connect with you. I'm so psyched that we can, chat and see what some of your goals are. Here's what this call is going to look like. I'd love to know what you're building in your life. I'd love to know what your goals are and what you're anticipating and what you're really looking forward to. After that, I'm going to share with you a little bit about what I'm doing, and if there's a way for us to bridge the gap and how I can solve problems for you, we're going to explore what that looks like, and if it makes sense for you and me, we'll go ahead and start working together. Now, do you see what I did there? I broke it up into 3 major points. The first expectation that I set was that I want to find out about you. I want to find out what your goals are. I want to find out what you're working on. And what that's telling me is why the client is coming to me, why they were drawn to me. And what it's really telling me is what they hope I can do for them. So that is what they're expecting of me. It's helping me understand what their expectations are without asking them, what are your expectations? It's me finding out what their goals are. That's what they expect to have happen in their life. So that's the first thing that I did. The second thing that I did is let them know that I'm going to share with them what I can do, what I have results in, what the clients that have worked with me in the past have results in, what's my track record, what do I know how to do. I'm going to share with you, and I'm actually going to give you value before the phone call even ends. I'm going to share with you some next action set for you. My number one rule in business is that no client leaves without getting a next action step. Whatever that be, whatever it be working with me or whether it's working with someone else or simply some homework. No one leaves without some direction when they work with me. So that's the second thing. So first we establish some expectations on what they want, and then we establish expectations on what I can do. The third expectation that I establish is that I'm going to make you an offer at the end of this phone call. There's no hiding from it. There's no reason to hide from it. I want to be very, very clear and open with it. And I said it in a very welcoming way. I said, if it makes sense and we like the way this is going, we can find a way to work together. Or I might have something that will help you get to your goal. Or I can find a way to bridge that gap for you. And if it makes sense, we'll go ahead and get started. So I did 3 things. I made sure I knew what they wanted. I shared with them what I could do, added value to their lives, and I let them know that if it made sense, we're going to have an offer for an opportunity to work together in the future. So that's just one example of setting some very, very clear expectations, but still doing it in a really open and welcoming way. The second way to really acknowledge and understand expectations and have that really clear understanding between you and your client on what those expectations are and to manage those is to know your audience. You've got to know what your audience is really looking for, and this can be done on a one-on-one basis or it can be done en masse. You can go out there and search social media. You can send questions and polls into your group. You can find out what people are looking for. And this is going to clue you in on what customers want their results to be after working with you. When their customer comes to the table and when you come to the table, you're both coming with an expectation because you have a transaction. You expect to have some kind of an income and expect to serve and fulfill, and they expect to trade their income and get some kind of result from it. Whether that result be a weight loss program, whether it be a home cleaning program, or whatever it is that you're transacting, you both have an expectation of what's being brought to the table versus what is being fulfilled. So know what your customers are looking for. Understand beforehand what their expectations are of working with someone and of hiring someone. Why would anyone hire you? If you've ever applied for a job, that's why the manager is asking you that question, because they want to know what to expect from you. So have a good answer prepared from that. Understand that your expectations and their expectations, while you're not using that word, are always on the table. The final way to help customer expectation management and to understand how that works is to let people try you before they buy you. A lot of companies that, for example, print off products on pens and papers and chapsticks and goodie bags, and the swag people, the people that design and print and do all of that kind of thing. If they're good entrepreneurs and they're good business people, they will send you what's called a sample. You'll get a sample in the mail. You get this in magazines all the time. If you've ever looked through a magazine subscription, if you've ever even been to a store, a big box store, and you see the little nibbles all along the way next to the freezer aisle, beware of those things, by the way. They'll overload on calories like crazy. But there's a sample. People want to try a sample before they buy a product. They want to know what it's like to experience the product. They want to know what it's like to touch and to feel the product. I'll always remember being in Costa Rica, and I went to this market where there were hundreds of vendors all over the place, and they had everything from alpaca skins to geodes to stones to bags to earrings, everything that you could possibly want as a tourist to get a souvenir, they had in this market. There were hundreds of markets. And something that fascinated me as I walked through each one of those markets is that I observed how the vendors interacted with the clients. Americans are funny. We like to pick things up before we make any kind of a transaction. We like to touch and to feel and to have our hands all over things. It's our way of trying it before we buy it. Your customer wants to do the same thing. Provide them with an exquisite experience of being able to try whatever it is that you're offering before they invest in it. So if you're a coach, that means spending some time actually coaching them and giving them some value. They want to know what to expect from you, and you want to know how to show up to make that expectation very, very clear. If you're selling a product, give them a sample of your product. Give them a way to experience your product, whether that sample is, I'm going to let you try this while we're here together, or I'm going to actually send you a sample, a product offering. So if the customer wants to know what you really do, they're going to want to try it. If they're going to want to try it, they're going to want to experience it. If they want to experience it, they're going to want to know what to expect because of that. So provide a way for people to experience you so that they know what to expect from you. Other than that, managing expectations is very, very simple. As long as you're clear, as long as you're concise, and it helps if you have a quality product that you can fall back on, managing expectations is going to be one of the keys to success for reliability and loyalty in your business. All right, you've got this. You know how your business works. You know exactly what your business does for people, how it serves people. Now what you're going to do is hit the subscribe button, because I want to talk to you tomorrow about our next way to amp up your business.